So today I want to talk about something that's brought me so much joy. I always talk about the need to balance things in life, to balance the sadness with the joys, to find micro joys to help you deal with the macro sadness. And for me, look, it's been days since it, but I'm still not over it. It is the Bad Bunny halftime show. It was on February 8th, and I have watched it so many times. And every time I watch it, I get something more from it. It feeds my soul that much more. And I notice things that maybe I hadn't noticed the previous 1,000 times that I've watched it. But why do I think it's so significant? I actually think it was not just the show and not just Bad Bunny, but it was the moment that we are living. This halftime show came after a year of Trump being in office and after a year of the Latino community in particular seeing itself beaten up physically, literally, and emotionally. It's been a year of us seeing some of the saddest images I can remember in my life. People dragged through the streets, racially profiled. People selling tamales in the corners of LA, getting arrested and disappeared. We have seen the Venezuelan men being sent to the worst hellhole in Latin America, in El Salvador, where they were tortured and humiliated. I mean, it's been such an indignant time. So I've so many things that have made me feel angry, pissed, outraged, indignant. And Bad Bunny came over and gave me the hug that I've been needing. And I think so many in our community felt it. You know, we've seen children taken away. We've seen Leanne Ramos. We have seen American citizens been shot and murdered in front of our eyes. It's been a really tough year. And I think Bad Bunny, he got the memo. He understood the assignment. He understood that he had to somehow put that away to one side and figure out ways to make us feel seen, respected, part of the bigger us, of the bigger Americas, to make us feel that we were part of a unified world. And he did such a great job of it. And you know, one of the things that I've realized now, days after I've been taking it in, I've been to the Super Bowl a couple of times. I have seen so many halftime shows, and I have thought so many of them were absolutely great. But none of them made me feel emotional the way this Bad Bunny show did. And I think it's not only because it was the Latin culture, but also because it lifted my spirit. It was chicken soup, sopa de pollo for the soul. And also, listen, so many halftime shows have been terrific. I can tell you, I was in Miami in 2007 for the Prince halftime show, and it was spectacular. I thought it was one of the best halftime shows I've ever seen. But pretty much every halftime show highlights and spotlights the artists, like, artists dressed in great clothes and swinging from ropes and hanging from the rafters and climbing up poles and doing all things. It's about me, the artist. Look at me, look at my talent, look at what I'm doing. The Bad Bunny halftime show was less about him, less about the artist, and more about identity and heritage and culture and diversity. That message he left us with of believe in yourself, never stop believing in yourself. It was carried through to that very special moment with the little boy. Bad Bunny patted the little boy's head as he gave him his Grammy, and he told the little boy in Spanish, "Nunca dejes de creer en ti." Never stop believing in yourself. And I was also so touched by the recognition and respect he showed those who came before him and opened up the doors so that he, Bad Bunny, could be here today. People like Ricky Martin. I mean, I can't believe I'm talking about Ricky Martin, who's my age, as somebody who opened doors and came before him. But Ricky Martin's been an artist and singing and on stage, on the world stage now for almost 50 years. He started when he was a little kid in Menudo. And just a week before the halftime show, Ricky wrote the most beautiful letter to Bad Bunny after the Grammys, his Grammy win for Album of the Year. And Ricky talked about how proud he was of Bad Bunny for never changing his voice, for never forgetting where he came from, for always displaying his heritage and his flag wherever he went with pride. And so when I saw Ricky there, first of all, Ricky looked good and Ricky sounded great. But it was such a huge moment for me. By the way, I've been laughing because I've been seeing online, on social media, a lot of the younger folks, a lot of the kids talking about how their moms went crazy when they saw Ricky Martin out there. I guess that's what's happening now. Somehow, somewhere, at some point, I became the mom generation. But and Bad Bunny has done that throughout his career, and very pointedly with this new album and in the residency he did in Puerto Rico, where he brought out greats of and pioneers of a different generation, people like Mark Anthony, people like Ivy Queen, people like Rubén Blades, who just mean so much. And it was the optimism, the joy. It was every little significant moment, not just the little boy, but also Bad Bunny climbing an electric pole and singing a song that is about when electricity going out in Puerto Rico, which has been happening before Maria, but it's happening even worse since Maria, and that electric grid has still not been fixed properly. It's something that Puerto Ricans have to live with. It was such a significant moment when he said, "God bless America." But when he said, "God bless America," he wasn't just talking about the United States. And he started listing every country, down from Tierra del Fuego in Chile, all the way up to Canada. It was the significance of the Puerto Rican flag that he was waving. That's not the Puerto Rican flag that you see if you look up flag of Puerto Rico. It's a lighter shade of blue, because it's the independence movement Puerto Rican flag. It was illegal to wave that flag, to fly that flag in Puerto Rico for a while. And that was the same color of the dress that Lady Gaga had on. And at first, when I first saw it, I'm going to confess to you, I first saw it, I didn't get the entire Lady Gaga of it. I didn't understand what she was bringing to the show. But then I talked to friends, and they told me how significant it was to see somebody at the level of Lady Gaga singing and making her song, her hit song, bringing in the rhythm of Latin America, the salsa rhythm, doing her song as a salsa song. And I'll tell you something that just touches me so deeply. Since Bad Bunny got announced as the artist, he has taken so much shit. He has had so much incoming hate his way, and racism and discrimination, xenophobia, and that he was able to put that aside and focus on bringing us love and bringing us happiness, and on performing, on bringing up this great performance. I have been the target of Trump's tweets and Trump's attacks. And when you are the target of Trump, the way Bad Bunny has been since he was announced, it's like the gates of hell open up and every little demon crosses through them and comes at you. And he was able to set that aside. He was able to set that aside and focus on his craft. I just thought it was fantastic. I can't stop watching it. Every time I feel myself getting a little down, I go and it's like porn for me now. I put it on a loop. I need to watch this. I need to, and then because these things bring me joy, it's making me even happier that the xenophobes and the racists hated it. Understand this. People are pissed that Bad Bunny sang in Spanish. You all, right now, Bad Bunny is the number one artist in China. In China. Believe me, they don't understand the word he sings. They don't understand English or Spanish, but they get the vibe. And so that we here in this country, that there are people here in this country that are so racist and xenophobic that they can't just put away their preconceptions and their discrimination and bigotry and enjoy the rhythms and the vibes the way I do when I hear, I don't know, Andrea Bocelli singing O Sole Mio. I remember, Pavarotti singing Nessun Dorma. I don't know what the hell they're saying. I don't know one word that they sang, but I knew they were doing something beautiful and that it was art. So there's so many reasons to not let go of this moment. And I'm going to remember this halftime show. And apparently I'm not alone, because it is the most consumed halftime show in history. Just on social media platforms alone, the privately owned platforms, influencers, regular people reposting parts of it and commenting it, was over 4 billion. Billion con una B, con B, como Bad Bunny, Benito, billion hits. 4 billion hits about this halftime show. So it's been spectacular. I love that there's some people that have gone out there and criticized it and been racist, complained that there weren't enough white people. I love that there's some whack job Congress people threatening to investigate NBC and the networks that played this, because it was even more horrible than the wardrobe malfunction of Janet Jackson back in God knows when. I mean, people, come on to those Congress people. We got a healthcare crisis in this country. We've got Epstein victims who still haven't been contacted, and Epstein files that are yet to be released. We've got government funding. We've got people who can't afford to eat in this country. And you're going to investigate the halftime show because you got offended by words in a language you don't understand that Bad Bunny didn't even say, because he didn't say any of the bad words during the halftime show. He cleaned it up. So you know what can I tell you? Go at it. If that makes your juices flow, and wasting taxpayer money and wasting time investigating that, go at it. Nothing you do, nothing these people do, none of the racist postings, none of the alternative halftime show bullshit, none of the threats from MAGA Congress people or administration, none of that is going to take away our joy and our pride at what Bad Bunny was able to do. Colorín colorado, este cuento se ha acabado. Okay, everyone, that was just a little teaser to whet your appetite of what my podcast, Bleep with Ana Navarro, is going to be like. We are dropping episodes every Monday, and the first ones is one about my background, but also one where I talk to Maria Hinojosa, and we're talking about my friend, actually former friend, former Senator, Little Marco Pequeñito. Marquito. Tune in.